I want to say something to you that I say to almost every client I have ever worked with. Something that no matter how many times I say it, still produces the same reaction, a long pause, and then sometimes tears. You are not lazy. You're not always unmotivated. You're not undisciplined. You're not broken. You're not the problem. What you are is untrained, and that is a completely different thing. I want to say something to you that I say to almost every client I have ever worked with. Something that no matter how many times I say it, still produces the same reaction, a long pause, and then sometimes tears. You are not lazy. You're not always unmotivated. You're not undisciplined. You're not broken. You're not the problem. What you are is untrained, and that is a completely different thing. My name is Ashley Mangione. I'm an executive functioning coach, ADHD specialist, former classroom teacher, published author, and also a speaker. Today I want to talk about one of the most damaging misunderstandings in education, in parenting, in the workplace, and in the way that we talk to ourselves. The assumption that struggling to start a task, follow through on a plan, or get things done on time is a character flaw rather than a skill gap. Those are not even the same thing, not even close. The moment you understand the difference, everything starts to shift. So, truthfully, I've watched someone that I love deeply struggle with exactly this. Really smart, genuinely remarkably smart, funny, creative, full of ideas that lit up a room, but struggled enormously with getting started, staying on task, managing his time, and following through. The homework that was not turned in, the assignments that were half finished, the mornings that fell apart before they even began. The way people around him started talking about it, including to my deep regret, the way I sometimes talked about it early on, was in terms of character. That he didn't try hard enough. He did not care. He's choosing this. But he was not choosing it. His brain was wired differently. Nobody, not even teachers, not the system, not even the people who loved him the most, had given him the specific skill he needed to work with that brain instead of against it. So what happened? He deflated under that misunderstanding. Slowly, quietly, he stopped believing in himself. And it was not until the right people, the ones who saw what was actually going on and responded with tools instead of judgment, came into his life, and then things began to change. Now I have the privilege of watching him thrive in a career that fits his brain. I think about all the years that deflation cost him. I think about every single person who is hearing this, who's been carrying the same label that they did not choose. Lazy, undisciplined, does not try, will never reach their potential, who deserve tools instead of judgment a long time ago. Hey guys, this video is for you. Let me explain what is actually happening when someone struggles to start a task. Task initiation is an executive functioning skill. It is the brain's ability to begin a task independently, especially a non-preferred or overwhelming one. For many people, particularly those with ADHD, anxiety, perfectionism, or executive functioning gaps, this skill is significantly underdeveloped. It's not a want problem, it's a wiring problem. So sometimes it can be a strategy problem as well, meaning that the person has simply never been taught how to lower the activation energy that is required to begin. So think about it this way. Imagine you needed to push a car that had stalled. For most people, that car weighs a certain amount. It takes some effort, but maybe we're strong enough to get it moving. For someone with task initiation challenges, that same car feels like it weighs 3 times as much. They're not unwilling to push, they're exhausted before they even begin, and nobody has ever shown them how to release the parking brake first. This is what we're doing today. We are releasing the parking brake. So here's a 3-part strategy for building task initiation that I use with clients across every age group and every background. I call it the Start Small system. So part 1, the 2-minute rule. Before you can talk yourself out of starting, because we're known to do that, commit to just 2 minutes. Not the whole task, not a perfect attempt. 2 minutes, set a timer, begin. Starting is the hardest part, but once the brain is in motion, continuing is dramatically easier. 2 minutes can typically become a lot more. And I teach all of my clients this as well. If you've been here listening, action precedes motivation. That's why it's important to give it at least 2 minutes. Now, the second thing I want you to do, remove the decision. Most task initiation failures happen before the task even begins, in the decision-making phase. What do I start with? Where do I put this? What format should this be in? Decision fatigue kills momentum before momentum can even build. Make these decisions in advance. When you're not under pressure, lay out your workspace the night before. Write your first sentence before you go to bed. Decide the first action before the moment arrives. I talk about this all the time, even for myself. I lay out my gym clothes every night because I know that 5:30 alarm is coming early in the morning. It all reduces decision fatigue. Now, I might get some feedback on this, but it's important, I think. You need to lower the standard to start. Perfectionism and task initiation are mortal enemies. The belief that what you produce must be good from the first moment is one of the most reliable ways to actually never begin. Hear me carefully. Give yourself explicit permission to start badly. I know it sounds counterintuitive, but a bad first draft is infinitely more valuable than a perfect blank page. Let that sit with you for a second. You just might need to lower your standard to actually get started. I'm fine with that. The difference is we're going to raise that standard by the time we finish it. But practice these 3 strategies for 1 week. Notice which one makes the biggest difference for you. That's your entry point. It's honestly not that hard. Again, action precedes motivation. And here's the other thing. I want you to think about something the next time you catch yourself thinking, or someone else says to you that you're lazy, that you do not try, that you just need more discipline or more willpower or more motivation. Ask a different question instead. Ask yourself, what skill am I missing? What strategy have I not been taught? What tool could change this for me? Laziness gives you nowhere to go. A skill gives you a starting point. Starting points are exactly what we build here. Here's a quick reminder. You're not lazy. You just might be untrained. But training is something that we can do together. And if you want support building task initiation and the skills that come with it, visit my website, dynamiclearningconnection.com, where we provide real skills, real life for real change. It's Make the Connection here, and I'll see you next Tuesday.